Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are going to get started here. Let's get some people in here. I'll give some shout outs, and then we're going to get started right away because this is supposed to start in about 15 minutes. I hear it's not going to be very long at all. Morning, Red Fingernails, Oracle Blinn, Gray Lear, Cheryl, Alicia, Fran. Good morning, Mama. Nice to see you. Can't wait for you to get home on the weekend. Leanie, Laura Williams, Triple Fire, good morning. Good morning, everybody coming in. Please smash that like button on your way in and make sure you have live chat selected at the top so you don't miss anything. Good morning, Samantha. Good morning. Truth Don't Lie. Hello from Montreal. That's where my mother is right now, Truth. She's in, Quebec, but Montreal. We're from just the other side of the Ontario-Quebec border. So we're not far from you. So good morning and welcome. And I don't know if you guys are getting the snow in Montreal. We just started getting it here on the Ontario side there. So hello, Julie from Nevada. Tanya Hodges from Arkansas. Good morning. Yes, Quebec is beautiful. And that's where my mama is right now. She will be back. She's been out there almost 2 weeks there. She'll be back this weekend. Hello, Lori Ann from Saskatchewan. Nice to see you. Nice to see a lot of my fellow Canadians here. Hello, Alicia from Idaho. Hello, Blue-Eyed Female from California. Hello and welcome, everybody. Bay Area. Well, hello, Judy, and welcome to the family. Lisa, hello from Katy, Texas. Cricket, there she is. Good morning. Early for you guys out there in Idaho, Cricket. Bright and bushy-tailed at 7:45 in the morning out there for you guys. It's 10:45 in the morning here for me. Joe Eastrop says, afternoon from the UK. Bonnie Baker, good morning. R.L. Boise, good morning from Boise. Lynette from New Zealand, good morning. We got people from all across the world here. I'm so happy to see that. So I got a few things to show you guys before this starts. It's not live streamed, but as soon as they come out of the court, we will be able to get that stream. So I will be able to show you that as soon as they're done in court. I hear it's not going to be a long court hearing. Good morning, Kitty from Arizona. 8 a.m. and raining in Pullum, Washington. 38 degrees. It is snowing here in Ontario, Canada, and it's -6. Hello, Cleta from Boise. Hello, Blue-Eyed Female says to Lisa, I used to live next door to Katie. Okay, so this morning, he's back in court, Brian Kohberger, 8 a.m. He'll have a status hearing. Hello, Madeline from Cape Town, South Africa. Wow. Got people from everywhere. Gray Lear. My daddy grew up in Thunder Bay. Ooh, cold Thunder Bay. Cold Thunder Bay. Ooh. Okay, so this is going to be where things are planned for what's happening in the future. Today, he could waive his right to a speedy trial. That would give them more time to enter a plea, and that would also, put the trial date to God knows when. Speedy trial, they have to have it, I believe, within 6 months or 3 months, depending, I guess. But if he doesn't waive his right to a speedy trial, and he could be arraigned within the next week or so. That's when he'll have to plead guilty or not guilty. So if he pleads today, he would be arraigned today. I don't see that happening. This is just like a status hearing to start planning for the future hearings. If he waives his right to a speedy trial, we may not get an arraignment for a bit, but I do believe he'll be arraigned within the week anyway. Never fails. As soon as I go live, my phone starts going off. I start choking out people. I'm just kidding. Okay. So I wanted to bring you this because Brian Anton spoke with Brian Kohberger's lawyer. Good morning, everybody coming in. Noel D, Miss Scorpio. I'm sorry if I've missed any of you, so I'm trying to get this out before this starts. So let me share this. Put a 1 in the chat, you guys, once this starts, if you can hear it. So this is Brian Anton. He spoke with the lawyer for Brian Kohberger. So let's listen to this and see what his lawyer is saying.
Do you think that Kohberger can get a fair trial here in Moscow, Idaho?
There is no way he can get a fair trial in Moscow, Idaho. I don't know if he can get a fair trial in Idaho.
Just because of the attention, you think, or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, due to all the media news outlets, the attention it has gotten. I mean, you're talking about an international case now, and
okay, really, thank you, everyone.
Social media is also an issue here. I mean, this is really one of the first cases. I mean, you had the Petito. I think Petito is correct.
Petito, yeah, Gabby Petito, yeah.
The Gabby Petito case. I mean, that had something like this, but I mean, my understanding about this case specific. I mean, this has blown up on social media too.
Well, with this, you guys, I think it's a little different than the Gabby Petito case, because the Gabby Petito case, that was done by her fiance. It was a very close connection to her, being her fiance. So I don't know. I see quite a few people comparing this to the Gabby Petito case, and I just don't agree with it. It's just my opinion. It's going to be hard for him to get a fair trial anywhere. Yes, this is across the world, you guys. So, I mean, this is something that the defense attorneys do anyway, because they want to get it far away from the area which he's known to be, or go to school, stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't think it matters where they take this. They're going to have the same thing. So let's continue to listen.
To a point where most people ages of 18 to 25 have actually posted comments on it. So I'm not on social media. I don't believe in social media. People are too free to express their really views without repercussions, to say. And in this case, a lot of people have already expressed either guilt or innocence, and really neither helps either the prosecution or defense, because, I mean, listen, at the end of things here, and I want to make this very clear and important, and the family would really make this clear and important. Listen, there's 4 families suffering from loss, right? I mean, they will never get their loved ones back, and they want justice, okay? But we want to make sure, everyone wants to make sure that the right guy is the one that they have at trial, and the one who ultimately is convicted. Whether that ends up being Brian or not, I can't say. The evidence will ultimately come out at trial. But
yeah, I don't think it's like the Vallow case either. Like the Gabby Petito case, the Vallow case, I know they're big cases too, but they were done by people that were close, intimate, were known personally, spent time with the victims and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just my personal opinion, I guess, that I wouldn't compare it to the Vallow case, to the Petito case, because like I said, those 2 cases were done by either an intimate partner or people, family members, stuff like that. So yeah, it doesn't hurt, you know. Everybody's entitled to their opinion as long as it's done respectfully. I'm just saying, in my opinion, This is a huge case. This would be like the mass murder cases and stuff like that. I would compare it to, instead of cases where it's an intimate family, intimate relationship, like a boyfriend, a husband, a fiance, a boyfriend, whatever, or as in the Vallow Daybell case where it was family members, very intimate relationships there. So that's the problem I have with it. Like I said, everybody can have their own opinion. Even if you don't agree with me, that's okay. It's just my personal opinion. And I don't mind other people's opinions as long as it's done respectfully and there's no victim shaming. So I've spoke with a lot of people who, disagree in a lot of things that I say. And, I love hearing their opinions too. And like I said, as long as it's done respectfully, I have no problem with it.
But the important thing is that he's presumed innocent until proven otherwise.
And just my last question, there's the hearing tomorrow morning, the status hearing, where they'll talk about the possibility of a preliminary hearing. It's my understanding the defense can waive that. Do you think there should be a preliminary hearing? I mean, if this was your case now, is that in his best interest?
Well, I mean,
and I want to make this clear with you guys. I know that there's a gag order in Idaho. This guy that was talking was his attorney in Pennsylvania, where there is no gag order. So I did put out that question to media, and that's what they had said. The gag order is in Idaho, not in Pennsylvania. So that's why I guess this lawyer, and that's only what I've been told. You guys don't come at me, but that's what I've been told, is that because he is no longer his lawyer, and he was the lawyer only for what was happening, I guess, in Pennsylvania, that he doesn't fall under this gag order, which I find odd. I would assume that anybody that had a connection to this case would be covered by the gag order, but there could be a loophole in there somewhere where this guy is able to talk about it. So
my understanding is it is going to be a status hearing. I had watched the initial arraignment, and I know that his attorney Taylor had requested for a status hearing, but I believe the judge listed it for a preliminary hearing. So I was a little bit confused also, but I think it's been verified that it is just the status hearing tomorrow. And I absolutely anticipate there to be a very long preliminary hearing at some point, whether that happens tomorrow or in the future. I would anticipate a preliminary hearing based upon the affidavit of probable cause. Okay. And if I circle back just a little bit, the one thing that I didn't address was the shaky ID by DM in the affidavit of probable cause. I would, without doubt, say that is at best a shaky ID that any defense counsel is going to have a field day with on cross-examination.
What do you mean by shaky ID?
Well, first of all, it's not an ID of Brian Kohberger. It's an ID of a person who has an athletic, non-muscular build, approximately 5'10", with bushy eyebrows.
Right. Wearing
a mask. It's dark. Obviously, likely, I'm assuming it's dark. We won't know until DM actually testifies. But really, when you think about it, that's the only direct evidence, allegedly, putting Brian at the scene, if it's Brian who's ID'd. So certainly, I can't say that it's a direct evidentiary link to Brian, and I certainly think once cross-examination occurs with DM, there's going to be real issues with even using her testimony.
Interesting. Well, thank you. That was really helpful.
Okay, so that was the first part of it, you guys. I do have another part. If you guys want to hear the second part, let me know. We're getting close to the 11 o'clock mark where it's supposed to start. Like I said, I won't get the video until the hearing is actually done, but it's not supposed to be very long. So if you guys want to hear the second part, let me know in the chat, and I will play the second part to this interview that he had. Want to hear the second part? Okay. Okay, so here's the second part to this interview, you guys. Hello, everybody coming in. Thank you for being here.
You have mention of a van's footprint in the affidavit of probable cause. They don't match that with Brian. I would say that I reviewed a couple, I think it's at least one video of a previous encounter of the police at the home of the victims, where the individual who answers the door is actually in a pair of vans. I know I saw that and I pointed that out last time I saw it, because that's what was interesting about that to me in the affidavit of probable cause. Now, again, it could come back that Brian has a pair of vans that could possibly match that. Talk about the vehicle. The vehicle's interesting because, I mean, there is no direct evidence that it's Brian's vehicle. They use the cell phone pings, tower pings, to link the vehicle to its whereabouts the night close to the home. They use that to track it, allegedly, but there's really no evidence that it's still Brian's vehicle. You have the license plate on the back, not on the front. I understand that, but I'm sure it's still not the only white Hyundai Elantra 2011 to 2016 that would match that description in the area. And you have no one that places Brian behind the wheel of the vehicle. So again, another hold in regards to that, because you can't verify that he's the one driving the vehicle.
But they don't have to put all of that in the probable cause, though, right? I mean, could they know that and just...
No, absolutely not. This is just holes that I got from the affidavit of probable cause that the prosecution could clearly clear up, right? And really, you anticipate it as defense counsel that they're going to have additional evidence to clear this up. The one that's going to be difficult is the cell phone tower pings, though, found to clear up, because Brian's phone was off from approximately, I think it's 2:30 to 4:30 or 4:45. I don't know the exact times.
I'm not sure, Summer, if it has GPS.
We like to call it, as defense counsel, junk science, not exact science. The cell phone tower ping is that when you send a signal out, it pings off of the tower. When it hits that tower, it creates a radius as to where you could be placed around that tower. Now, this was approximately, as the crow flies, 8 miles away, I believe, and cell phone tower ping information usually is a 20-mile radius. That's how the expert is going to testify. The only way to get around that is if there's GPS evidence. Now, so when he turned his phone on, or right before he turned it off, you're going to have GPS evidence up until the point, likely, of that in a cell phone dump. And then you're going to have GPS location the second it gets turned back on. That's not in the affidavit of probable cause. It's certainly through the 60,000 plus pages that'll be generated from a forensic review of his cell phone. So certainly it's more evidence that you're going to be looking at. Again, there's a lot of things. Like I said, it's a little, I'm saying it contradictory, that it's a strong circumstantial, but there's holes. I anticipate those holes to grow smaller when the prosecution puts their entire case on it and collects all their evidence, but maybe not. I don't know. But there are certainly holes in the case, and the affidavit of probable cause is just the start. We're in the infancy of the case, and I really do pretty much bank on the Commonwealth, well, I say Commonwealth because it's Pennsylvania, but the prosecution coming up with more evidence, obviously.
The statement that you released from Kohberger, where he, said that he was innocent, essentially, did you write the statement with him? I don't know if you can share how that statement came about.
The statement came about Friday night when I talked to him. To understand, on Friday, we were closed, we had a half day. So I knew I wanted to plan out sort of the attack of what I wanted to get done. What I know I needed to have get done because of the media exposure I anticipated with the case. I didn't expect it to be like this. I didn't expect it to be more, I've been told by the AOPC, which is court administration, that really more calls than were on Cosby. They were calling about this. So I sort of got a heads up of what to expect. So I sat down in my office at 12 noon on Friday, and I wanted to plan this out as to what I wanted to get done. Two things that I felt most important is making contact with the Idaho Public Defense Commission, obviously talking to Brian as soon as possible, getting a statement out. based upon my conversation with Brian, obviously, talking to the family and getting potentially another statement out. And really from noon to approximately 4:30, I took time to search relevant law, Idaho law, in reference, like, what Brian would expect upon extradition and returning back. So then I went out to the jail at 5 o'clock. I know there was a lot of people, a lot of news media outlet at the jail at that time. But I knew it was dark out, so I could essentially sneak in under the cover of dark and be able to talk to him without anyone knowing that I was actually there. And I spoke to him for about an hour. I let him know about the statement, that I wanted to get a statement out there because with all of the news media, I knew there was going to obviously be issues as far as him receiving potentially a fair trial. People jumping to conclusions, automatically you worry about the presumption of innocence and the integrity of the criminal justice system. So I said, Brian, is it okay if we get a statement out? And that's when he brought up the eager to be exonerated language. And obviously that was included in the statement.
So that was him. That was him who wanted to put that in.
The eager to be exonerated was the language he used. We put it in the statement. But obviously when I talked to him about being eager to be exonerated, to me, when we talked about it, it was more or less he was asserting innocence, but that's the language he used.
Oops. Okay, so that's what we got there, you guys. That was from, I guess, that lawyer from Pennsylvania that gave out that statement that he wants to exonerate himself. So let me see if there's anything coming out yet of the courtroom, you guys. We will check back in over there in a bit to see if they have anything there, and I will bring that to you. So let me just look through here and see what else we have. Another thing that I felt was funny was Nancy Grace is at the address. Let me pull up that. Oops. Here, let me show you that. I'm like, no, she did not. Yes, she did. So this is Nancy Grace. And I mean, I get it, out there reporting and stuff, but when I seen that they set up this desk and everything else, and it's like, no, she did not. She did. They have a desk, they got a little anchor desk set up there, and like almost like the studio cameras with the mic, and it's like, no, she didn't. Yes, she did. Yep, she did. I mean, I love Nancy Grace, don't get me wrong, but I think that's going a little overboard. But it is what it is. Okay, let me see what's going on over here. Bear with me, you guys. Also, the students are returning back to campus. There's another news crew that has an interview with some of the students that are returning. I don't know if I have time to show that before this court starts, but let's take a quick peek. Okay, let me share this with you guys. Okay, this is one of the local news stations, and he's interviewing. It's only like 2 minutes, so.
John?
Yeah, good evening, Steph. This is the path that the 4 victims walked on to get to class today. It's the same path that many vandals walked on, stronger, but remembering what happened 59 days ago today.
It's great to be back on campus and to see students returning. I'm happy to see a lot of my friends coming back to campus, and hopefully we can carry on in this semester and into the new year.
A new year, but not a new beginning. Student Government President Tanner McLean telling us that we'll never be able to bring back the 4 lives tragically taken.
It's something that we can't move past right away, and we won't move past right away, as our community was deeply attached to these individuals.
And deeply attached to one another. This tragedy has brought people together from all over the world. Their hearts, compassion.
And there it
love,
is right now.
all for
There,
a
you
small-
guys, like, even this is what KHO, they said it right there. This has brought people together from all over the world. Like, there's not a place that they're going to have this trial that people aren't going to already know and be talking and made an opinion about this case. This goes far and wide. Look at the people in the chat here. We got people from South Africa. We got people from Australia. We got people from Canada. We got people from the US. We got people from all over. You know, this has gone far and wide. Nancy Grace. No, I'm not here to bash Nancy Grace. I just kind of shook my head, and it's like, you didn't. She did. She set up her own little desk there and everything. That's the only thing I was commenting on. A lot of people don't like Nancy Grace, but I think she's great. But there's other ones here that say, Cricket said, I liked her when she was younger and not so aggressive. Yeah, when you get up there in age and you've done years, like I know I worked in the legal field for over 30 years in criminal law, private investigation, skip tracing, process serving, you name it, I've done it. And it hardens you. And as you get older, you don't take as much crap as you did when you were younger. You more or less speak your mind a little bit more. And, you know, the years of experience that you have, like Nancy Grace has, she just doesn't have time for the dumbass comments and stuff like that. And she's very much to the point, you know, with that many years under her belt, you know, she makes assumptions sometimes because it's based on the experience that she's had. Yeah. I get it. That's what I said. It's like, she didn't. Yes, she did. But I mean, that's Nancy Grace. You know, you got to take the good with the bad. I love what she does. I love what she stands for. But yeah, that was, I thought, no, you didn't. Yep, she did. I chuckle at it, but she's there and she's reporting. She's out in that cold. I'm sitting here in a nice warm office, you know, I'm not out there brazing the cold. I don't know if I could be outside of that house. You know what I mean? It would just give me the creeps, knowing what happened there. So kudos to all the reporters that have been out there. Brian Anton, snowstorms, freezing cold. He's out there reporting to bring it all to us. So anybody that does do that, as long as they do it with respect. There's a couple of YouTubers I know have gone out there and it's pretty tacky and spreading a lot of false rumors and stuff like that. But, you know, kudos to these news crews that do go out there and freeze their butts off to bring it to us. So to each their own. Some like her, some don't. That's okay. Yeah, let's get back to this.
Town of Moscow, Idaho. Reef Diego, a third-year student, says it was heartwarming to see even just a little good.
That's amazing to just to see, you know, that there is such good in the world, and that people do care.
Care coming from every single person in this small town of just under 26,000.
Just shows, you know, the type of support and love that's in this community, and especially in the University of Idaho. And just how everyone kind of rallied together and to show support for each other during this hard time.
With the suspect now in custody, the wheels of justice turning slowly but grinding exceedingly fine. President McLean telling us who vandals are.
We are Vandal Strong, and we will always be Vandal Strong.
Words that prevail give us hope and remind us the need to eternally remember Madison, Xana, Kaylee, and Ethan.
Okay. I didn't like that guy's eyes. I don't know. There was something about that guy's eyes in the last part of the clip there that just eerie, I guess. I don't know. Okay, let's see what's going on here. If they've seen him being brought in or anything yet. get you here. Okay, so we got some news that's come out, you guys. I don't have the video yet, but I've got news. They're not allowed to, they weren't allowed to live tweet from the courtroom either. Wow. Oh, well. Okay, so Brian Kohberger's preliminary hearing has been set for June 26th. So he's going for a prelim. June. Let me just get this marked down. So June 26th at 9 a.m. Idaho time. So that will be noon Eastern. He was in court today in an orange t-shirt and told the court he waived his right to a speedy preliminary hearing. No bail. So as far as I know, people are saying June, that's so far away. A lot of people are saying that it's interesting because they're thinking that there could be more evidence coming out or something along them lines. We haven't really heard about that affidavit yet or the search warrant for his apartment in Pullum. Just see if anybody else is updating here with any other information. And as soon as I get the video of him going in and being in court, I will bring that to you. Shouldn't be very much longer. Let me just check over here and see if it's over here. Hang on. Yeah, the trials could very much run together, you guys. So we'll have to take a poll on which ones, if they collide, because don't forget, we've got Letitia Stout coming up. Her trial starts, I think, in March. Let me just see. Yeah, Letitia Stout, her trial starts March 20th. Then we got, that's going to run into the April 3rd start of the Vallow Daybell. Now, the Vallow Daybell trial, we don't know if we are going to get to watch that. So we may be okay with the Letitia Stout case. Now, Letitia's case and the Vallow case will be completed by June. That's just a prelim that he's going for on June 26th. So the Letitia Stout case, as long as it does start on March 20th, we'll be okay there. And the only ones that we're going to have a run-in with is the Letitia Stout case with the Vallow Daybell case. And like I said, I don't know if they're going to allow cameras in the courtroom for the Vallow Daybell case, so we may get them for the Letitia Stout case. What was I just looking for? Oh, I know what I was looking for. Let me see. Okay, hang on. I think this is it. Let me just see. Yeah, there's no video out yet, guys, but it will be coming. Just watching for it here. Okay, let me just check back over here and see if they've got it up yet. Bear with me, you guys. I'm going to get it to you as soon as it's posted. Yeah, so some of the other ones I'm following are just putting it out now about the preliminary hearing being scheduled for June 26th at 9 a.m. Okay, I don't know if... Nobody has the video yet, you guys, but it's coming. Like I said, as soon as it's released, I'm going to share it with you. On the back. Sorry about that, you guys. Still waiting for them to post it. It just finished the hearing, so it's going to take a couple minutes to get it posted. But as soon as it is, you guys, I'm going to bring it to you. Let me just get back over here to... There we go. Yeah, that's what I just said. It was just released. I said that a few minutes ago. That it's his preliminary hearings June 26th, starting at 9 a.m. Exactly. You guys, let me just check again for the video. What kind of gets me here is that he waived his right to a speedy preliminary hearing. Now, I don't know in the US if that's waiving his right to a speedy trial. I don't know. But I'll keep checking back here and we will see as soon as the video comes out. I've got like 4 or 5 different ones I'm following here from all around that area. So bear with me while I try to get this to you guys. Okay, I've got it, you guys. This is from the Law Crime Network, you guys. Let me share this with you, and whoops, hang on. I forgot to share my audio so you guys can hear. My brain farts this morning, you guys. Okay, so once it starts, please put a 1 in the chat. Hey, sis. Okay, so let's watch this.
Okay. Okay, so we were waiting for Mr. Kohberger to enter the room for this status hearing. Bobby, now I can ask you my question that I was going to ask you. I might have to cut you off if we hear this. This is from Postcards from Protest on YouTube. Killing someone with a knife is a very messy way of killing, and this killer killed 4 people that way.
Okay,
there's no
here
way
he
there's no
comes.
forensic cross-contamination. There's got to be more, right? There's got to be more evidence there.
Well, yeah, that's 2 different questions, really. Cross-contamination is a term we use to say that, you know, the DNA from one person, the forensic material from one person is combined with another.
All right, so Bobby, we'll pick this up on the other side. Let's jump in and listen to the status hearing.
Okay, can you guys hear it? Press 1 if you can hear it.
Right, good morning. We are on the record. 29222805. This is State of Idaho versus Brian Kohberger. Mr. Kohberger is in custody.
Thank you, Rhonda.
He is appearing here in court.
Thank you all,
with his
Rosie.
attorneys,
Thank you,
Ms.
everybody.
Taylor, Mr. Logston, Mr. Thompson, Ms. Jennings appearing on behalf of the state. This is the time set in the matter for the preliminary hearing status conference. So I am going to inquire of counsel. Ms. Taylor, what's the status at this time?
Thank you, Your Honor. We are going to ask the court to set preliminary hearing out into June. We would request the 3rd or 4th week of June and probably 4 or 5 days for preliminary hearing. Mr. Kohberger understands his right to a timely preliminary hearing, and he's willing to waive the timeliness to allow us time to obtain discovery in this case and be prepared.
And Mr. Thompson, are you in agreement with that?
The state has no objection to that, Your Honor. And Ms. Taylor reached out to us by email yesterday with her proposal. On reflection, the state's calendar would be better in the month of July, but we will make the end of June work if that's the court's preference. And I haven't had a chance to talk to Ms. Taylor about that. I'm sorry, I know that's last minute.
That's okay. The court's calendar is going to be better towards the end of June, early July. So would that work, Ms. Taylor, for your scheduling on your other matters?
Your Honor, yes. If we take that 4th week in June, that's actually best.
Okay. So, Mr. Kohberger, I need to speak to you for a moment then. Sir, you do understand, and Ms. Taylor has represented here, that she's advised you of your
Just
rights.
pause this for a minute. Look at this, you guys. I don't know if he got in a scuffle in there or something. You can see sores on this side of his face. So I don't know. What do you guys think? You think he got in a scuffle or something in there? Maybe they had to drag him out. Yeah, I was just mentioning that, Nanny. Looks like there was some kind of, I don't think that's just shaving. You know what I mean? There's another one up here. Can't really tell from this way. This could just be sleep deprivation. I don't think he's sleeping too well in there. Sleep with one eye open, they say. But it looks like he could have maybe got into a scuffle. I didn't really check out his whole face when he came walking in. So we'll rewind and we'll look at that again once this is done.
To have or fully discuss with you the right that you have, which is to have your preliminary hearing within 14 days of the date that you initially appeared before this court. As you recall, when I advised you of your rights, that hearing is a probable cause hearing where the state has to establish that more likely than not, these felony offenses were committed and you were the one that committed the felony offenses. If you waive your right to a speedy preliminary hearing, it does not mean that you're giving up your right to have a preliminary hearing. It simply means that you would not be able to come back and challenge that the state did not present probable cause within 14 days. Do you understand?
Yes.
Have you had enough time to speak with Ms. Taylor about your decision to waive your right to a speedy preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Do you need any additional time to do so?
No.
Then I will ask at this time, as to the 5 counts, felony counts that were charged in the criminal complaint that was filed on December 29th of 2022, are you waiving your right to a speedy preliminary hearing and agreeing that that hearing can be held outside the 14-day period?
Yes.
And Ms. Taylor, do you?
Okay, so I guess that explains it all to me right there. He's just waiving his speedy trial rights. As you just heard, they said he's entitled to that within 14 days. So he's not waiving his right to a speedy trial. He just wants all that information that they have. That's what this is, you guys. In my opinion, that he wants to know everything they've got before he decides what he's going to do. He's going to go for this preliminary hearing and he's going to be arraigned. So let's see.
Concur with his waiver?
I do, Your Honor. Thank you.
I will find your waiver of speedy preliminary hearing is knowing, intelligently, voluntarily entered here in open court with the assistance of counsel. We will go ahead and set the matter for preliminary hearing. Beginning Monday, June 26th at 9:00 a.m. And I will go ahead and reserve the week, so June 26th to June 30th, in the event that we need all 5 days for presentation of evidence. And just so council knows, it will begin at 9 a.m. each of those days. Is there anything further to address at this time in the case, Mr. Thompson?
Not from the state's perspective, Your Honor, no.
All right. Or Ms. Taylor?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Kohberger, then you will be remanded into custody on your same no bail at this point in time, pending further proceedings. Again, we'll send notice out to council and we will be in recess for this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
See if we can see the other side of his face here. No. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to here to when he first, whoops. Let's go back here when he first came in, and let's see if we can get a look at his whole
Forensic
face.
contamination.
There's his whole face. The marks that we seen were over here and up here. Looks like he might have something there. Let's see if we can get a better picture.
There's got to be more, right? There's got to.
Yeah, it kind of looks like across here, maybe. I don't know. It's really hard to tell, you guys. Hello, Marie.
Be more evidence there.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. But here you do see some of the cuts here. More so when you zoom
that's
in.
2 different questions, really. Cross-contamination is a term we use to say that...
And he pretty much doesn't move from this position afterwards. It looks like he's got some there. But anyway, you guys, that is the hearing that happened today. Let's see if anybody else is saying it. I mean, there's not much more. We heard it all, so. They are putting 5 days aside for it, you guys, so. There's people commenting about yeah, I really wouldn't be able to get a good picture of it, does. But a lot of people are commenting on my video about Zaina's food and drink were in the kitchen, not the bedroom. Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I figure happened. After he went upstairs and did what he did with Madison and Kaylee, he was coming downstairs, and I think he was going to leave, but I think he seen Zaina coming out of the bedroom, maybe going into the kitchen to get, like, maybe she was in the living room part there, in just before that doorway where the step up is to go. You would have the stairs right in front of you to the third floor. You would have Dylan's bedroom on the left and the kitchen on the right. I think she was coming out of her bedroom to go to the kitchen to get something, either plates or food and drink. Don't forget that they had just ordered food at 4 a.m. And they said, did Zaina really order food, or did Brian use fake ID to frame the DD driver? No, they talked to the delivery driver, and he delivered the food to them. He, as far as we know, he didn't see anything out of the ordinary, because if he did, it would have been in the affidavit, the probable cause affidavit, I believe. Like I said, there's a lot in that affidavit that we don't know about yet. There's tons more evidence. Yeah, there was cuts on his face, Spirit Moon. His eyebrows look trimmed. But no, they spoke with that delivery driver. So I have no doubt that the delivery driver did deliver the food. Now, what happened after that, we don't know. It's not all going to be in that probable cause affidavit. They only have to give enough to get the arrest warrant. So there's a lot more, I think, that's going to be in there from even Dylan and from the delivery driver. And a lot more that they found in that house other than just a van's footprint. As we heard with that lawyer saying, well, there was a lot of people wearing Vans. Well, was there a lot of people there that night wearing Vans and leaving a bloody footprint, or a footprint in blood? You know what I mean? So there's a big difference. I think that lawyer kind of misspoke there. They mentioned that Vans footprint for a reason, and I'm going to say that I could be 100% accurate that after he did what he did, he's going to have blood on his shoes, on the bottom of his shoes. And there was a bloody footprint that was left there. And that's what I think he picked up, that blood after what he did to Zaina and Ethan. So I believe that there's going to be more bloody footprints leading from Zaina's bedroom out to in front of Dylan's. I think the reason why they only mentioned that one shoe print was because that puts him going in front of Dylan's door, like she had said he did. Like I said, there's going to be more in that affidavit. I'm sure that there's going to be more bloody footprints leading from Zaina and where Ethan and Zaina were. And I do believe she came out of that bedroom. They had just got food, so they were both awake. The room is not very big, so I would assume that they were sitting on that bed, probably, with their pillows up. I do it often at night. My pillow's up against the headboard of my bed, which would be that wall where we seen the blood coming down on the outside. I believe the bed was in the corner there. Like I said, that room wasn't that big, so I'm sure that they were sitting in the bed about to eat their food. They probably needed salt, pepper, utensils, or plates, or something that she was going to that kitchen to get. And she probably came almost face to face with Brian as he was coming down the stairs from the third floor. And that's where Dylan said that she looked out and he was walking towards her. There's a clear view. If she cracked open her bedroom door and she was looking out, her bedroom door is right at the bottom of the stairs to the third floor. She would have seen him coming up from the stairs area. I'm not saying coming up the stairs from the first to the second floor, but he would have had to walk past that half wall for those stairs, coming from Zaina and Ethan's room, around into the living room to get through that archway where there's a step up right beside Dylan's door, right at the base of the stairs going to the third floor, to go through the kitchen. And she sees him take off out the sliding doors of the kitchen. That just shows that Maddie and Kaylee were killed first. She doesn't say that she sees him going up to the third floor. She sees him immediately exiting through the kitchen sliding glass door. So that tells us a lot right there. When you look deeper into it, and like I said, the one footprint that they said that they put in that probable cause affidavit was right outside Dylan's door. That's just giving more evidence that yes, he did pass by her door. So the probability of her story and what she told being true is, gives it more credence, But I do believe that there's going to be more bloody footprints leading from Zaina's bedroom towards that kitchen and out the back door. Like I said, it's not all going to be in the affidavit. Okay, so let me get out of these. I got people messaging me on Twitter and yeah, and there's, the fake information that's coming out in this case, you guys. There's an audio that's going around saying that they heard somebody screaming, a thud, and Ethan screaming. That is a fake video. That is fake audio. Yeah, the last read that I did, you guys, 3 weeks before the arrest, I think the headline was the perp and police reveal secrets, arrest soon, or something like that. It was 3 weeks ago. If you click on my live tab, not the video tab is all older videos. You'll get all the newer videos on if you click the live tab at the top of my YouTube page. It's coming out almost dead accurate. No pun intended with the dead accurate, but it's pretty accurate. Yeah, Rose from Twitter that's going to be joining us. Always nice when you get people coming from Twitter and people from YouTube going over to my Twitter. I just love that, you guys. If you haven't checked out my page on Twitter, it's at @_ancestor. I'll put it in the chat. So if you guys do want to go and check out my Twitter, you can. And that's where you can find me on Twitter. Just put @_ancestor in the search bar, and my Twitter page will come up. So a lot of information that's coming out isn't truthful. People are making stuff up. There's been a lot of fake videos put out, a lot of fake audio put out, a lot of people coming out of the woodwork claiming to have seen or heard or have knowledge of stuff that just isn't true. Okay. Oracle bin. What if, okay, let me just go over this because there's a few here. What if somebody, Brian, ordered the DoorDash to them and that's why there was confusion on why someone was there? Dylan said she heard, she believes Kaylee say somebody's here. I believe that they heard. I believe when Brian first went up those stairs, I think he checked Kaylee's bedroom, and Kaylee and Madison may have heard somebody walking around up on the third floor, and she said somebody's here. And I believe it's just after that when the murders occurred, because Dylan stated that she heard what she thought was Kaylee playing with the dog, so movement above her because her bedroom was below. And that's when I think that Brian entered the room and killed them. The next one, yeah, that I believe that was Brian upstairs, and that's what Kaylee and Maddie heard. And that's why I think Dylan heard Kaylee say, hey, I think somebody's here, or whatever that was she said. Maybe Zaina didn't take it upstairs. No, Zaina, they got that information from her phone that she was on TikTok and that she ordered food. So Zaina is the one that ordered the food. Thank you, sis, for putting that there. Okay, so I'm going to address that too. There's a fake picture. I mean, it's not a fake picture. It's an actual picture, but that is not from the night of the murders, the Jack in the Box bag with food in it. That's not from the night of the murders. The Jack in the Box was not open at that time. I believe the only restaurant when I searched that was open at that time of the night was Domino's, and they close at 3. So did they possibly put in an order and it only got delivered at 4, being that it's the only restaurant in the area that's open? I don't know. But if you search for restaurants that deliver in Moscow, Idaho, don't forget, there's only 26,000 people there. It's a very small place. You can look at every restaurant there and their hours of operation. The only one I found that would have been open late enough to do a delivery at 4 would be Domino's. So maybe she went into the kitchen to get plates for pizza. Maybe they ordered pizza. We don't know. Yeah. No problem. Hello, Sarah. Okay, so Cricket says Jack in the Box is open 24 hours in Pullman. Okay. I didn't see that. So thank you for that, Cricket. Cricket lives in the area, so she has a better knowledge of when things are open. So Jack in the Box is open 24 hours. But apparently that picture was not from the night of. Don't forget, if they only got their delivery at 4:04, 4:12, she's on TikTok. And then he's out of there at 4:20. So I don't think or maybe she did. As he was going to leave, maybe she was bringing that bag out to put in the garbage or whatever, and he's seen her. But I do believe that as he was coming down the stairs, she was coming out of that bedroom going towards the kitchen for some reason. So I stand corrected. Maybe it is from that night. But she wouldn't have made it to the kitchen with it. You know what I mean? Unless she had made it to the kitchen, but why would she put it behind the sink? You know what I mean? I think that could be from somewhere else. I don't know. I can't verify that picture is true. And from what I've heard, it was from another night. So if it was DoorDash, it was from a third party. Yes. I'm not going to go there. I don't know. I might. I really don't. This girl is getting torn apart, and I don't think it's fair. My opinion, I don't think it's fair. We've only seen what police put in that affidavit. That doesn't mean that that's all she said, okay? So I think until the full story comes out regarding Dylan, I think we should reserve our thoughts. Nobody knows what you're going to do in that position, right? She could have been drinking that night. She could have been like really woozy and discombobulated and not, oh, what's that? Like, I heard a noise. Look out. Nothing there. Okay, go back to bed. Hearing something else. Look out again. Nothing there. Am I imagining this? Like, she could have been drunk. And I mean, they're college kids. So, I mean, we can't judge her on just what we seen in the affidavit because there's going to be a heck of a lot more. So to judge her just on what's in that affidavit, like I said, they don't got to put everything in there. They only got to put enough to secure that arrest warrant. And yeah, I thank you, Marie. Yes, she is a victim too. And she needs to start being treated like one by everybody in the Okay, so what's this? Hang on a sec, you guys. Okay, so I've got some more discovery here. Hang on a sec, you guys. Let me just get this. Hang on. And then I will read this all to you if you guys wish. We can go over it. Just let me get it saved properly here. Holy crap. There's a lot, you guys. Okay, there's 4 new pages of discovery that was of information that was put into okay. Do you guys want me to go through this? It's a defendant's request for discovery pursuant to ICR 16, so Rule 16. If you guys want me to read through this, I can. Or I can just post it to my community tab, or we can read through it right now. It's up to you guys. No, I get you, Kathy. I'm just not sure if I want to do that or not. I know that you had no ill intentions at all, so I appreciate that. Yeah, he needs all the information, and that's why I think he put it out so long so they can go over. He wants to see everything and go over everything. Yes, I agree, Nana. And good morning, Nana. Okay, you guys want me to go through this? Okay. Absolutely, Elizabeth. Okay, so let me blow this up so you can see it. Whoops. This was just filed, you guys. You can see it here on the 10th. So 2 days ago or so. Okay. To the prosecuting attorney. And this was filed by Ann Taylor. Defendant's request for discovery pursuant to ICR 16 comes now. Brian C. Kohberger, by and through their attorney of record, Ann Taylor, public defender. Let me just get this. I don't need this in my ear anymore. Pursuant to Rule 16 of the Idaho Rules of Criminal Procedure, the Idaho Rules of Evidence, the 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendments to the Constitution of the United States, Articles 1, subsections 1, 2, 13, and 17 of the Constitution of the State of Idaho, hereby request disclosure of information, evidence, and materials pursuant to ICR 16B 1 to 9, and the aforementioned constitutional provisions, including but not limited to the following information, evidence, and materials. 1. Statements of the defendant. permit the defendant to inspect and copy or photograph any relevant written or recorded statements made by the defendant or let me just minimize this. Can you guys see it? Hang on. Or copies thereof within the possession, custody, or control of the state, the existence of which is known or is available to the prosecuting attorney by the exercise of due diligence, and also the substance of any relevant oral statement made by the defendant, whether before or after arrest, to a peace officer, prosecuting attorney, or his agent, and the recorded testimony of the defendant before a grand jury which relates to the offense charged. Statements of co-defendant. What? What? You guys see this? Statements of co-defendant. That just threw me for a loop, you guys. I'm reading this for the first time as you guys are seeing it, but I'm seeing statements of co-defendant. Any written or recorded statements by a co-defendant and the substance of any relevant oral statement made by a co-defendant, whether before or after arrest, in response to interrogation by any person known by the co-defendant to be a peace officer or agent of the prosecuting attorney, or which are otherwise relevant to the offense charged. This is not just a typo. This is a whole paragraph. I think they're saying if there is another co-defendant, but I don't know why that would be put in there. Defendant's prior record, a copy of the defendant's prior record, if any. See how they put that here? A copy of the defendant's prior record, if any. That's what it should have said up here. Statements of a co-defendant, if any. No. When you're putting a motion like this forward, nothing is generic. It is points to the case itself. Nothing is generic. There are generic things that you include, but this is not typed up generic, just a copy and paste or a pull it up and fill in the blank type thing. That's not what this is. I used to do this when I first started in my legal career way back over 30 years. Well, 30 years ago, 35 years ago. No, this is concerning to me. A copy of the defendant's prior record, if any, as is then or may become available to the prosecuting attorney. Documents and tangible objects. Permit the defendant to inspect and copy all books, papers, documents, photographs, tangible objects, and copies and portions thereof, which are in the possession or control of the prosecuting attorney and which are material to the preparation of the defense or intended for use by the prosecutor as evidence in the trial or obtained from or belonging to the defendant. Reports of examination and tests. Permit the defendant to inspect and copy any results or reports of physical or mental examinations and of scientific tests or experiments made in connection with the particular case that are in the possession and custody or control of the prosecuting attorney, or the existence of which is known or is available to the prosecuting attorney by the exercise of due diligence. State witnesses. Provide a written list of the names, addresses, phone numbers, and or other reasonable means of contact for all persons having knowledge of relevant facts who may be called by the prosecuting attorney as witnesses at trial, together with an NCIC report and a Spillman report of any such persons. They want their full criminal history too. Provide, and that's not up to the state to provide that. If the defense wants an NCIC report and a Spillman report of any of the witnesses, they got to get that themselves. That's not up for the prosecuting attorneys to hand over to them. That's part of what the defense does in their defense. Yeah, these are never generic. I guess you could pull up stuff to copy and paste, but I mean, we never did that. These are typed up by a legal assistant or legal secretary, and every point, like reports of examination and tests, is bullet number 5 here. In somebody else's case, that may be bullet number 8. You know what I mean? So it's not generic. This is done individually for each case. A, provide statements made by the prosecution witness or prospective witnesses made to the prosecuting attorney or their agents or to any official involved in the investigatory process of the case. This includes statements to employees of the sorry, you guys. I just got this, so that's why I don't have it in. Anyway, it's in order, but I have to. Anyway, prosecutor's office, such as witness coordinates and all members of any law enforcement agency that has had any involvement in the matter. Expert witnesses provide a written summary or report of any testimony that the state intends to introduce pursuant to Rules 702, 703, 705 of the Idaho Rules of Evidence at Trial or Hearing. Actually, Idaho is one of the states that have really strict rules on some things outside of just your rights under federal law. You have rights when you're being charged and held like this, but Idaho has a very distinct set of their own rules also that go above and beyond your constitutional rights. So I found that out when I was covering, and I'm still covering, the Valo Daybell case. So yeah, they have really outside of your regular constitutional rights or normal constitutional rights, they have even stricter rights for the defendants. The summary provided must describe the witness's opinions, the facts and data for those opinions, and the witness qualifications. The underlying facts or data form the basis of any expert testimony pursuant to Idaho Rule of Evidence 705. Disclose of expert opinions regarding mental health shall also comply with the requirements. Wow. Police reports. Provide to the defendant all reports, all memoranda, and all rough notes or field notes. Well, rough notes, field notes, there's a lot of notes that officers take that they don't have to disclose. They're for their own benefit. But they're just going all out here. I've seen this in other cases, and this ends up leading to a lot of motions and fighting stuff with disclosure. There's certain rules on disclosure, what the police have to give and what they don't have to give. All rough notes, I don't think is something that they have to provide. Now, anything that is being used in the case would have to be provided, but there's a lot of things that they don't have to provide either. But they're including it, so this is going to leave it open to a lot of fighting between the defense and the prosecution. Officers, investigators involved in the investigation, prosecution, and of the defendant in connection with the above titled case. Digital media recordings, audio and video files released to the defendant, digital media that may or may not contain protected information as defined by ICR Rule 16. The prosecuting attorney must state whether the disclosure contains protected information. Unredacted digital media. Release unredacted digital media to defense counsel for the purpose of expediting a resolution in a case prior to trial or hearing. That seems a little generic, but redacted digital media. Provide redacted versions of digital media along with the written explanation of the information that was redacted. If the prosecuting attorney determines the digital media contains protected information, requiring redaction prior to disclosure. Search warrants. Provide all documentation in support of any search warrant issued in connection with this case. Applications for search warrants, whether granted or denied, all affidavits, declarations, and materials in support of such search warrants, all search warrants, and all search warrant returns and inventories. Exculpatory evidence. Provide, well, that's a given. Provide the defendant all material evidence within the scope of Brady versus Maryland and the United States versus Argers. Specifically, any and all favorable or exculpatory evidence, information, and documents in possession of the prosecuting attorney's office or other agency or person available to the prosecution through due diligence. Give me a second, you guys. Sorry about that, you guys. I had to really cough bad and take a sip of my coffee to hopefully quell that a bit. Now, exculpatory evidence. For those of you who don't understand what exculpatory evidence is, this is evidence that the police or detectives or law enforcement came across that may do harm to law enforcement's case and may be good for the defense. Doesn't matter, if they like it or not. If they have come across any exculpatory evidence, they have to turn that over to the defense. If they've come across, say, this is just hypothetically, if they've come across, oh, this guy here might have been involved too. If they investigated anything like that, anything that could harm the prosecution's case that they have in evidence, they have to give that to the defense, even if that may help the defense. They have to by law. So that's what they mean by exculpatory. Okay, and here's the last page, you guys. The page after this is just the signatures and stuff. We really don't need that. Also see Idaho Rules of Professional Conduct 3.8D and G. Like I said, Idaho has their own set of rules that go above and beyond the rules, federal rules, stuff like that. Inducement. Provide to the defendant all documents pertaining to the existence and substance of any payments, promises of leniency, preferential treatment, or other inducements or threats made to prospective witnesses within the scope of United States versus Gigolo, 405 U.S. 150, 1972. So there, anything, like if they've offered people payment, anything like that, were there threats of, anything for witness testimony? Hang on. If they are aware of anything like that, they have to disclose it. Identification. Disclosure of whether a defendant or any other person was identified by lineup, show up, photo spread, or similar identification proceeding relating to the offense charged, and production of any pictures utilized or resulting therefrom, and the names, addresses, and telephone numbers of all identifying witnesses. Now, as far as Dylan goes, I don't think, there's been a lot of people saying, well, put him in a voice lineup. Well, I don't think they are going to do that. The police are not going to do that, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if by chance they put Brian with a bunch of others in a voice lineup and make them say something, and Dylan doesn't pick him out, there's a problem. So I don't think that they're going to do that. But anyway, if they have to disclose it. Evidence pursuant to IRE 404B, pursuant to ICR 16A, requirement of mandatory disclosure. The prosecution must disclose the general nature of evidence of other crimes, wrongs, or acts it intends to introduce at trial. So if they have evidence that he committed other crimes, stuff like that, especially if they're in the same genre of what he's done here, they want all that information. Electronic surveillance, disclosure of the defendant's status as an aggrieved person as defined by 18 U.S.C. 251011, if applicable, and copies of all records and recordings related to all electronic surveillance and set forth in writing the circumstances thereof. Drug tests, provide a copy of all documentation generated as a result of performed drug tests by the state's agent for drug identification purposes, including types of testing performed, in this case, testing procedures and or solvents used in testing, comparative analysis performed, experience performed in each test. So how they, this is going to relate not only to if they tested any of the victims for drugs, they're going to also want how they tested any evidence that they collected at the scene. Any experiments done on that. Subpoenas provide copies of each and every subpoena issued by the state to any person or entity, regardless of whether served or not in connection with this case. Certifications. Certifications provide verification of the hire date of all law enforcement officers that may be called as a witness in this matter, who were involved in the investigation and or arrest in this case. Provide a copy of the post certification for all law enforcement officers identified above. Like, wow. Like, there's a lot in here, you guys, and that's the end of it. Like I said, there's 5 pages, but the last page is just their signatures, and I didn't feel we needed to go through that. So with that, there's some things in there that they have to get on their own, and that's just the joys of being a public defender or a defense attorney. You can't expect the police or law enforcement or prosecution to do your job for you. I did see a few things in there that's up to the defense to get on their own if they so choose, if they want it, which it seems to me they do because they put it in this request. But there are things in there that they have to just get on their own. It's not up to anyone else to do their job for them. Staying Classy says, let me just get this here so I don't lose it. Do you think they put that in there about a co-defendant just to cover themselves in future proceedings? Could they find that someone else was involved? I don't know. I can't tell you what the defense attorneys are suggesting there. I'm not there. I find it very odd that that is in there. It could be because of the comment that Brian stated. Did you arrest anyone else? Now, that was said to one of the law enforcement officers that arrested him in Pennsylvania. Apparently, he made a comment. Did you arrest anybody else, or did you get anybody else, or did you get somebody else, or something along them lines? Don't quote me, you guys, because I'm not exactly sure the exact wording, but I know it was something along them lines. So has Brian told his defense team that there was a co-defendant? That's what I'm only assuming, you guys. I don't like doing that, but just to answer this question, I like to stick to verified facts. I think they may have put it in there based off of comments that Brian himself made. The prosecution has said there's only one person and they have that person. So that's what I can verify. So that's what I'm going to stick to. But just to answer this question from Staying Classy, that's why I believe the defense put it in there. And that's not even being able to think about it and absorb it yet. That's my best guess. And it's only a guess. I don't know. I've got conflicting theories of my own on that. I feel, and this is only how I feel, is I feel that he thinks that he has some kind of control over women, or he has an axe to grind. Is he thinking, well, with all his education, that he can make this judge look like a fool? Can he make his lawyer look like a fool? I don't know. I don't know what's in this sick mind, but my best guess would be that he thinks that he's going to make this, because she's a female, maybe make her look like a fool. Yeah, and a female lawyer too. Yes. Yeah, see, everybody reacts different So thank you for that, Be Kind. I appreciate that. Yes, thank you so much, Be Kind. I really appreciate that. Yep, I agree, Cricket. There's one in particular. I'm not going to mention it because I don't do that here, but because I like to stay right the hell out of all that drama. I bring it to you from my perspective. Then again, I'm also in Canada, so for 30 years I worked under Canadian law. There's a lot of things that are the same, but there's a lot of things that are different. So to me, if I'm seeing something like I just seen, it's open to interpretation to me. Is that the same as it is here? There are things that I do know are the exact same. And that's why I had mentioned that outside of your constitutional rights, when you're a defendant, Idaho goes above that. They have their own little verbiage there and their own little set of statutes and stuff that you are also entitled to use to protect yourself, that goes above and beyond your normal rights. I don't know how many states do that, but I know Idaho is one of them. Oh, thank you, staying classy. I appreciate you guys too. Cat H, hi, beautiful. Canceled in error. What's that? What are you talking about there? Oh, thank you, Cricket. I appreciate you too. So, Cat H, what do you mean by canceled in error? Oh, we got Marie Burke's cousin in here. Where is she? Oh, Elizabeth Burke's must be Marie Burke's cousin. Well, hello and welcome. Your cousin is all dressed in blue. Don't mess with her though. She's got tools at her side. Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh, crap. Sorry, you guys. How come somebody is deleting Be Kind's comments? I can't even. Sorry, Be Kind. I can't even unhide them. Who is hiding her comments? Cat, what are you doing? I just seen Cat. Oh, is that what you mean? Canceled in error? It was accidentally. Okay. Be Kind. Are you here? Because I see that you hid her. Oh gosh. Be Kind. I'm sorry that was done in error. Sometimes when the mods are on their phones, when chat scrolls really fast, somebody is hidden or. Okay, so we apologize for that. Be Kind. Sometimes, like I said, when my mods are on their phones, the chat scrolls fast and they end up hitting the wrong button by mistake. So I'm glad that you were unhidden. Thank you. So sorry about your comments. If you want to post them again, please feel free. Don't want you to think we're trying to hide you. You have a milestone, Willow. You do? Okay, let me go back to StreamYard. StreamYard says, I have a milestone. What's your milestone? On here, the free monthly chat thing that you can put on if you're a member, I can't post them for some reason. I don't know why, but they won't let me post them like I'm posting your message right here. Oh, that's okay, Kat. It happens. It happens. And just to let you guys know, to keep you guys up to date, we have been trying to get a hold of Rosie, and there's been no, I know my sister has her as a friend on Facebook, and she hasn't posted anything since December. So I don't know what's going on with her. I'm hoping nothing has happened. Very concerned at this point because it's not like Rosie not to be here or not answer us. So I am very, very, very concerned about her. I'm hoping nothing has happened to her. I used to follow and accidentally delete comments or hide peeps when I used to mod on other channels. Whoops. Yes, I hope she is okay too. Because nobody's been able to get a hold of her. Let me just check my other phone if it's not dead. Because I've been sending her messages. My fingerprint doesn't match. Yeah, I'm not hearing nothing back from her either, you guys. I did send her. Okay, hang on, let me just check something here. Yeah, I sent her messages, and so has my sister way back in December, and they haven't even been seen. So I am really hoping, I better plug this in because it's at 2%, my other phone. I really do hope that she is okay. Wow, husband of 22 children, the oldest of 22 children. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm worried about Rosie too. They having floods in Australia? Okay, so maybe that's why. Maybe she's got no internet. Mom also says I text her and haven't heard from her either. Okay, so maybe it's they got no internet. Let's keep our fingers crossed that that's the reason, you guys, because I am really, really worried about her. Oh, no problem, Elizabeth. Yeah, 7 kids is still a lot. I got 4, and it's a lot. Things have finally settled down with my daughter and the new baby. She had him on the 1st. She got out of. She was released from the hospital on the 3rd, first thing in the morning. She ended up back in the hospital with him on the Thursday, like a day and a half later, because he had jaundice really bad, which was caused. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but something that happened at the hospital. But anyway, and she didn't get out again until Saturday. And we've been having to take him back to the hospital every 2 days for blood work to check the jaundice. And he's finally clear of the jaundice. He's gaining his weight back. So everything is finally settling down a bit. It's been a rough last 11 days, believe me. So that's why I haven't really been on a lot, you guys. So please forgive me for that. Family first, and I say it to everybody, family first. But yeah, he's okay now, and he's doing a lot better. He's gained his weight back, so which, you know, I can relax now a bit. And her dad is going to be in town. He's coming from Alberta, which is halfway across Canada. He'll be in tomorrow, so I can't wait to meet up with him and hand some responsibility off to him for a while he's here. He's coming for a visit, so it's really nice to be able to have him here too. I'm getting a bad feeling today. I pray Rosie. I almost cursed, but yes, I pray too. Who has her? Okay, wait a minute. Who just sent her a message? Okay, Mom Officer, can you email me? I know she's in Australia. Can you? I think it's Melbourne, but is she in Melbourne? But I'm thinking, me and my sister were talking about this last night. Oh, thank you so much, Mom Officer. Where is she in Melbourne? Where's that box? Wait a minute. I thought, oh, I do have her address. Never mind. Because she sent me a bunch of stuff here, and I do have. Okay, I got her address here. I'm going to do my sleuthing and see if I can't find out if her area is one of those ones that are going through major floods. Yes, let's pray that that is the reason that they have no internet. It's okay, Mama Officer. I have her address right here. I'm going to block out our addresses, but oh, hang on. I'm gonna get this out of the way. Hang on. I'm on a messy desk. I've got to block out phone number but I'll just show it quickly. I do have the envelope here from when she sent me all the gifts for my birthday and that. So I do have her address. Once I get off here, I'm going to see what I can find out. Like, I know there's a lot. And thank you to the ones who are sending me information from the places that I can't access from Canada. There's a lot of news agencies and stuff like that I have to pay a subscription to if I want to see what's being said there. So I do thank you for sending me the clips and everything of that, you guys. I really do appreciate it. Well, thank you, Marie Burks. Yes, and prayers for Rosie and all of Australia. So with that being said, you guys, I'm not going to keep you any longer. That's the information we got today from Brian Kohberger's hearing. I guess he's not going to be, unless something else pops up, he's not going to be back in court until June 26th for a preliminary hearing. I will be covering that. Hopefully they allow at least some information to come out of the courtroom, but we can chit chat. And I know on breaks and stuff like that, things will be coming out, even if they can't bring it out directly from the courtroom while it's going on. Or, that may change. So for the preliminary hearing, they may allow a pool camera in there. And if they do, I will be bringing that to you guys. Alicia, I don't have the puppy. Within the first week, I had to return him. He had a lot of severe health problems. And for the amount that I paid for him, and he was supposed to be healthy, he was not. And I think it was kind of like a puppy mill that he was from. And I know that they were investigating the person that I bought him from. So he did have to go back. I was just not in a position for all the care that he would have needed. There's just no way that I could do it doing what I do. So there's not a lot around here for adoption of puppies. This person wasn't from where I am. This is from outside of where I am, and I took a chance, and I don't think I'll be doing it again. It left a bad taste in my mouth. So with that being said, you guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to let you guys go. This sometimes it goes private, sometimes it doesn't. Once I end, I think it's in how I end the live stream. Oh, the other question that somebody asked is, does the Hyundai Elantra, the 2016, 15, whatever, have GPS navigation? I have a Hyundai Elantra, and I know mine does, but they're saying here that it does. My model is in here. And this almost covers all the models of the Hyundai Elantra, the 216 to 219, 212 to 215, has onboard GPS navigation. But it's an option. Mine came with it, so. Okay, so with that being said, you guys are going to wrap it up. And like I said, if this does go private at the end, don't worry, it will be up. It's usually back up within 15 to 20 minutes. So with that being said, thank you to my mods for being here. Thank you for everybody popping in and following along with us. Thank you for all your input and your help. With that being said, please take care of yourselves. Please stay alert to your surroundings. Please take care of yourself. Please stay safe. Love you to the moon and back. Bye-bye for now.